Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to you is Mike Brenner. It's getting serious now, Mike Brenner. We are in the middle of our individual team previews for the 2016 NFL season, and the team we're going to cover right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, an interesting team. Obviously, Winston is the center of it all, and then the supporting cast. At some point, they definitely seem like a team on the rise. The question is, at what point on the rise are they likely to be this year, and how where will the betting value be relative to their expectations? The win total, though, a little bit high, surprisingly, in my opinion at least. 7.5.
Yeah.
It's juiced to the under, minus 165. The over is plus 135. I'll just tell you my initial basic feel for this team. I like Winston. I like him going forward, but team-wide, there's a lot of holes that I'm seeing. I don't like the fact that Doug Martin is coming off of a big contract that he just signed.
Yeah,
he has. I got my money, and I'm going to take it
he
easy.
took a deep breath,
all over
buddy.
him, right?
Exhale.
Yeah, they're definitely adding some nice pieces, but I'm not sure that overall the roster is where it needs to be yet. I would be looking to bet on the Bucs in certain games and certain spots as an underdog, but as far as their win total is concerned, I think I'm going to have to lean towards the under at 7.5 minus 165. What do you think, Mike?
Couldn't blame you whatsoever. Here's a team 6-10 last year, Pete. New coach. All right, they finally made that right move and got Lovie Smith out the door. By God, that guy, great guy, nice guy. Sunday dinner, perfect. Can't coach though. All right, and if he can, it's on defense. Stick with that. That's what you do best. All right. Dirk Coder's taken over, however you pronounce his name. All right, now the one advantage that does bring for that division, he's an ex-offensive coordinator with the Falcons, and he is very, very familiar with a Winston type because of Michael Vick and you know what he had when he was there. All right, here's the thing though, I'm just not sold on Winston like you are. There's where you and I do not see eye to eye. I'm not a fan of this guy.
I am sold on Winston. I'm not sold on the rest of the roster.
Okay, I like his total yards for passing. I'm going to fade him. I think this guy this year, because not only did Doug Martin sign that big contract and take a breather, I think Jameis Winston said, all right, I got that year out of the way, now I'm going to kick back. And that's kind of what he did at Florida State. Started out amazing, and all this, getting into trouble. I'm not sold as him as being the leader that team needs. He is not that sideline leader. Now, that defense was a wreck almost, even though that was their strength, but it turned into a wreck because of injuries last year, especially towards the second part, Pete. But I have got to take the under 7.5. I don't think there's no way that team wins 8 games this year.
Yeah, and they could. I mean, my sense is that Winston's the only thing that's going to save him, because I look at I think his stats might be down, but not necessarily because of his fault, because I don't like his wide receivers overall as a group. I think they're overvalued or they're overrated right now. Mike Evans, Vincent Jackson's getting old. Austin
Vincent
Jenkins.
Jackson, you hit it. He's definitely a step over, and I think Mike Evans, shit got real here. All right, Johnny Manziel made him look really, really good, and that's really coming out. But here's the thing, and Johnny Manziel, that's a whole other story. But I just don't think there's the other pieces that they need, and you said it most. Doug Martin definitely exhaled. He's not going to want to beat his body up now and take the concussions and everything else. And they paid him an enormous amount of money. But Miko Grimes, they added Grimes, on the defense, right?
Yeah.
All right, he went from the Dolphins to the Buccaneers, and his wife Miko, she's out there on Twitter all the time talking about now he's with a real team. He just went from one losing team to another, honey. So get a real job. But I'm not sold on him, Pete. Yeah. I think the Buccaneers don't do a whole lot this year. Don't excite a lot of people, and I think Winston is going to start fading.
My sense is that there's a lot of serious question marks with this team. Not all of those question marks will turn into big failures, but enough of them should to keep them as a bad team. I think
they're the doormat of that division. I think they're the cellar dwellers, buddy.
I do think that there are some positives, though, that might grow in future seasons, and I am probably going to be looking to bet on them as like a big road underdog to surprise on the road against some teams. But in general, I'm kind of down on this team. They're definitely feeling their way, feeling out which elements they need to add, which elements they need to take away. My sense is that long term, Winston is a solution. At some point, is going to be a key element of a strong team, if not in Tampa Bay, then somewhere else. But this year, I'm going to agree with you. So we're both agreeing that we like the under 7.5, even at minus 165.
Absolutely, Pete. Absolutely.
Right. Sounds good. And I'm going to be looking to maybe bet the spots to bet on the Bucs are going to be when they're a big road dog.
Well, I'm going to be betting against the Bucs early and often and going against them. And first halves too. This team struggles on first halves. I cashed a lot of tickets fading them on first halves, Pete.
They have one of the worst home field advantages in the NFL over the past few years.
You're not kidding.
They might be a good bet against, a good fade in particular at home at times this year. All right, Mike Brenner.
Hey, another thing, but we got to let our viewers know, because this year it's going to be the same. OCDpicks.com. We got WNBA. We got Canadian football. We're going to have college. We're going to have everything, because Pete and I, we got our own website. And click that like button so we can keep on doing it.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.